Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Teddy, aka Teddy Bear XD. Today I'm coming back with another video of a Cliffhanger format tournament that I did with Ghost Stadium. Ghost Stadium is a Discord group that hosts lobbies that you can play in tournaments with other people. Remote tournaments. It's a lot of fun and it's really good practice for anyone trying to get better at the PvP aspect of Pokemon Go. And you can also count them towards your rank on sylph.gg. So we'll go ahead and look at the teams here. You can see I'm up there at the top. I'm bringing Skarmory, Gardevoir, Swampert, Sableye, Lantern, and Gloom. And you can see everyone else's team down there. So the first person I'll be playing in this tournament is Kruki319. You can see him roughly in the middle right there. He's bringing Wigglytuff, Lantern, Jirachi, Munchlax, which is very interesting, Lucario, and Altaria. So quite a few interesting picks there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and we will jump right into the first match here. So when I was looking at his team, I saw Skarmory was pretty good, didn't have too many counters, and then bring in a couple water types since he didn't have a grass type. And Swampert's just really good overall. So I lead Skarmory, he leads Wigglytuff, which is really good for me, as Steel resists Charm. And he does have Charm on this Wigglytuff. He decides to stay in. It looked like he wanted to switch, but he didn't end up switching. So I'm building up some energy here, and I throw the Sky Attack. And he blocks it. And he does throw the charge move as well. And I do decide to block it because I don't want to be taking too much damage here. And I store up a little bit of energy there and throw the Sky Attack. I let one get through there, so it's not going to be an excellent, but it is enough to finish him off, so didn't end up mattering. And he brings in Lantern. I don't know what happened there, honestly. I think I wanted to switch and I tapped it too early, or just decided not to switch and was really slow about it. Either way, I bring in Swampert after throwing a Sky Attack. He switches out to Munchlax. I have a lot of energy built up here. That Munchlax has Lick, which is interesting. I've never even faced a Munchlax before, so I don't even know how these go, to be honest. But I'm just throwing straight Hydro Cannons here, working it down. He's able to get to a charge move here. I probably could have just tanked the Body Slam. And I definitely should have charged up a little more energy here, but I throw the Hydro Cannon instead. And it takes it down. And I know his last Pokemon here is Lantern. It's gonna throw probably Thunderbolt, which I still resist because I'm ground type. I knew I couldn't get to an Earthquake there, so I just decided to get the damage in while I could with Hydro Cannon. And I switch into full HP Lantern, which will end up finishing it off. So overall, pretty solid first match there. So I led Skarmory that first that first match, and a lot of times what people like to do is switch in a counter versus your lead. So I kind of figured he would try to do that. So I'm going to start my lead off with Swampert, and Swampert's fine against pretty much his whole team as well since he doesn't have a grass type. So I'm going to lead that, and I've got the same two Pokemon there still in the back. And we'll see what he decides to lead. So he leads Jirachi, which is... This is a good matchup for me since Jirachi's also Steel. Ground is good against Steel. And he does bring in Lantern, which Swampert's good against. I try to bait the Earthquake here, go for a Hydro Cannon. He does not fall for it. Good read there by him. And I try it again. And he blocks this time, which is good for me. And I'm pretty sure this is a Thunderbolt, so I don't need to block it. It won't KO. And again, I realized I couldn't get to an Earthquake, so I just decided to throw the Hydro Cannon. Gets it very low. Unfortunately, he finishes me off before I finish him off, so he gets a little bit of switch advantage, but I do have one shield up on him, so we're in a good spot here. I throw the Thunderbolt at Wigglytuff here. And I switch into Skarmory. Soak up some of those charms. He brings out Jirachi again. I'm just farming up a little bit of energy here. I don't really know what this is, so I'm gonna block it just in case. It is only Doom Desire, which wouldn't do very much, but I was up a shield and I decided just to throw it out there to prevent something bad from potentially happening. So he throws another charge move. This is probably the same move, so I'm not going to block it. And it is, and it doesn't do very much. I throw another Sky Attack here. Gets him very low, and I finish him off with one more fast move. And he brings Wigglytuff back in. Really, I should have just thrown the Sky Attack here to finish it off, but I wasn't entirely sure if the Sky Attack would KO. And I end up throwing the Sky Attack anyway, so doesn't really matter a whole lot. But I get the Excellent, and we are able to finish it off. So good games to Krookie there. Really all it was just me getting the leads. Good leads from him. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take a look back at the teams again here. So the next person I'm playing is Endio. You can see him about 2/3 of the way down. He's bringing Vigoroth, Alolan Muck, Omastar, Altaria, Lantern, and Venusaur. So, I don't have a fighting type for Vigoroth, which is not great, but a lot of my Pokemon will do neutral damage to it, so it's not a huge deal. Yeah, so we're just gonna go kind of the best Pokemon I have in my team, I guess, to fend off his team. So we'll get right into it here. So I start off Skarmory, and he starts off Altaria. It's technically a losing matchup for me, but seeing as I don't really have counters for Altaria, this is probably the best matchup I'm gonna get with it. Besides Gardevoir, of course. So I throw a Sky Attack there. He's building up a little bit of energy on me. I resist these Sky Attacks and the Dragon Pulse if he wants to throw that too, but I'm not going to block the Sky Attack. Doesn't do very much. I throw the Sky Attack. See if he decides to block. He does. And he switches into Venusaur. I think this was a misclick, because he definitely should not have done that. But I am low enough that that Friendly Plant probably would have KO'd me. So in order to get the Sky Attack off, I decide to block the Friendly Plant. And he's definitely going to get to a Frenzy Plant faster than I can get to a Sky Attack. And I do decide to block it. I'm going to try to finish it off with fast moves here. He was probably just at one, so that was kind of risky, but I am able to finish it off and throw a Sky Attack at the next Pokemon, which is Lantern. Granted, it won't do very much, but damage is damage. So I'm going to bring in Swampert here. Good matchup against Lantern. I know all I need to do is get to an Earthquake. And I do get to an Earthquake faster than he can get to a charge move. And it one-shots. And he brings Altaria back in. And I throw the Hydro Cannon. It is resisted, but it'll still do quite a bit. Enough to finish it off. So, pretty big mistake on his part, but we do capitalize on it and take the match. So again, people tend to switch to try to counter. So I'm gonna assume he's gonna lead Lantern to try to catch my Skarmory, so I'm gonna lead Swampert to try to catch his Lantern. And we do catch it. So a really good starting matchup here for me. See how long he stays in. So I decided to try to go for a bait here to get his shield. And I catch it, so really good. And this is probably a Thunderbolt again, so I don't need to block. It only does about a third. And he does switch into Venusaur, and I, for some reason, don't even throw a charge move. But I do have Skarmory, so it's not a huge deal. It wouldn't have done a whole lot unless it was Earthquake and he didn't block. So I am able to just sit in here and farm, which is fine. I'm still pretty far ahead, even though I lost all that energy on Swampert. And it might actually be better than if I had thrown a charge move, so I can farm all the way. Probably build up at least 2 sky attacks here. I still don't need to block. You can take 3, you can't take 4 frenzy plants. So I just sit here and take it. And I am able to fan it down and hit whatever comes in with 2 sky attacks, which it is the lantern, but that's okay. It's possible I should have just switched instead of throwing the sky attack, but who knows. I got down pretty fast, but I still have 2 shields left for Gardevoir here. And he does have that Altaria in the back, and Charm's gonna demolish this Altaria. So I just need to block and throw fast moves. That's it. And I take it down. So that one was pretty close. Well played to Endio there. And again, I kind of won by getting the leads there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take a look at our next matchup here, which will be Maverickus. He's almost at the bottom there, second from the bottom. He had actually won 2 matches up to this point against, I think both of them were challenger players, so he did really well in this tournament. You can see his team down there. He's got Granbull, which is interesting, Tropius, Sableye, Lucario, Swampert, and Hypno. So a couple different picks. You don't see any other Hypno, surprisingly. This Hypno's really good in the Great League, just generally. So I'm a little worried about that. Swampert's obviously another one I'm worried about. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into the matches here. I go ahead and lead Skarmory, and he leads Tropius, so I get a really good matchup here right at the start. He brings in Lucario, and I do decide to switch right as he throws his charge move here, which I'm assuming is a power-up punch. And it is, and I resist that very well. And I'm just going to use Charm to kind of chunk it down here. He throws another move. I don't think this is Shadow Ball. He didn't have enough counters in there. I think it's 8 to Shadow Ball, so I take the second power-up punch. And I'm pretty close to another charge move here, so I'm hoping I can get to it. So I under tap there in order to make sure I get to the charge move. Throw a Synchronoise, and he does block it. And actually it's a good thing I under tapped because he threw a charge move. And I definitely don't need to block this because I would die in 1 or 2 more fast moves anyway. I bring Skarmory back in, farming up a little bit there. He switches into Swampert, and I'm just going to hit this thing with sky attacks. Actually, I want to switch into Swampert here because I don't want my Swampert to go against Tropius because it's grass. I don't block it, and it is Earthquake, so that's not ideal. But I do get to a Hydro Cannon. And he blocks it. And I do barely get to another Hydro Cannon. I should have undertapped there. That was really close to me just fainting for nothing. But we do get to it. And I've got 2 shields on my Skarmory and energy, so we're going to take this one. And again, it was all about me catching the lead. With having 2 grass types on my team, a lot of people like leading, 2 water types, sorry. People like leading grass. So Skarmory is usually a really good lead. And we're jumping into the second match here. I lead Skarmory again, he leads Lucario. This matchup is fine. I'm kind of going to try the same thing. I think I switched just too early. I'm going to chunk it down with Charms. Here I'm thinking he's going to throw Shadow Ball since I didn't block the first one last time, and he does. That would have done a ton of damage to me, so good thing I blocked that. And I also should have undertapped there because he gets to a charge move. I really don't want to burn 2 shields here. And it does finish me off before I can get the charge move off, unfortunately. But I switch into Skarmory here. I'm just going to farm this down. I don't need to block anything it throws. Both Leaf Blade and Aerial Ace are not going to do hardly anything. Just continue to fast move. He throws another thing. I still don't need to block it. And he does switch out there into Lucario, thinking I'll throw a charge move, and I don't. He brings out Swampert. I definitely need to take this thing out. I think I've got at least 2 Sky Attacks charged up here. So I back to back, throw them out. And I switch into Swampert here. So I'm up a shield right now. Throwing the Hydro Cannon. It's possible I should have gone for Earthquake, but still does a lot. Even if this is Earthquake, it's fine. And it is just a Hydro Cannon. But he throws another one. So I take it. I really want energy on my Skarmory to hit Tropius with, because it's possible one more, like Leaf Blade or something, would take me out. I definitely need to block a Hydro Cannon or that'll KO me. And I didn't actually realize he switched there. I thought it just fainted the Swampert, but he actually switched. I nearly didn't attack. But we are able to take that match as well. Well played to Maverickus there. And we've got one more match here. The last one versus Time to Unwind. He's the second highest ranked player in this tournament. You can see him up there right below me. He's bringing Victory Bell, Muck, Swampert, Fortress, Defense Deoxys, and Umbreon. So I'm really worried about those last two. Both very strong. Umbreon is really tanky, so is Defense Deoxys. So I went back and forth on kind of what to bring to try to counter those two. I'm definitely bringing Skarmory, as it does pretty well against almost all his team. And we'll just jump right into it, see what else I bring. So leading Skarmory, he leads Victory Bell. Like I said, I have 2 waters, so they tend to lead grass types. So he ends up switching into Umbreon, and I brought Gardevoir to counter Umbreon, as Charm is super effective against dark types. So I can just chunk it down with fast moves here. I only need to block 1 foul play, so I let the first one go through. It'll do about half. And I actually finish it off before it's able to throw another charge move. And he brings in Victory Bell. It has Razor Leaf, so it hits harder than I thought and faster than I thought it would. So I didn't even have time to throw a charge move. I would have had to preemptively do it. But that's okay, as I can just farm Victory Bell down here with Skarmory. It's not a huge deal. And it throws an Acid Spray. Really, I didn't need to block anything there, but Acid Spray was a good move on his part. And I missed like 3 bubbles there, but he blocks it, so that's fine. I go back to back. This time I hit him all, and he doesn't block, which is great. I bring in Swampert here. Throw a Hydro Cannon. And he does block it. I have 2 shields here. And he has no Pokemon besides Defense Deoxys, so I'm just gonna go for an Earthquake. I can block another charge move if I need, which he does get to, so I'm just gonna block it and throw the Earthquake. And we are able to finish it off. So again, it was kind of all about the lead. I did catch his lead and was able to kind of rotate accordingly depending on what he brought out. So he doesn't really have a counter for Skarmory except for Swampert, because it gets the Hydro Cannons really quick. So I don't know exactly what he's gonna lead to try to counter my Skarmory. He did switch into Umbreon when I led Skarmory the first game. So that's kind of what I was thinking, that he would lead Umbreon because he switched into it. So I decided to lead Gardevoir. And he does end up leading Umbreon. So a really good catch from me there on the lead. And he switches out to Muck. I was a little late on that switch, but I switch into Swampert. He's gonna throw a move here. And I don't block it. It does about half. And that might come up later, but I'll talk about that later. I throw a Hydro Cannon and he doesn't block it, just takes him out. And he doesn't have Victory Bell this time, I don't think, or else he would have switched into it. And I get greedy here, and I try to farm up more than I should have. It didn't even matter, but I don't throw the Hydro Cannon. That really hurts. And I try to throw the charge move there, but he gets to it first, and I really should have farmed this down and not thrown the charge move at all. But it goes through because we CMP tied there, unfortunately, and I throw it. So not a great situation for me here. And he does end up throwing the Hydro Cannon. There's really no need for me to block, so I let it go. And I've got Skarmory in the back, but he does have 2 shields. I don't think it matters when I block here. But since he has 2 shields, I'm just going to do more damage throwing fast moves here. And remember, I did get acid sprayed earlier. And he just is able to take me out with the final Hydro Cannon. So really close match. It may have all come down to me throwing the charge move on Gardevoir when I shouldn't have, and not throwing the move on Swampert when I should have. So a couple minor mistakes there ended up costing me the whole match. But live and learn. I've actually learned a lot from losing, so it's actually helpful to kind of go over your matches and see where you made mistakes so you don't mess up again, or mess up less. So I really don't know what he's going to lead here. I kind of caught him on both matchups. But I am scared of Swampert, so I'm going to bring Gloom instead of Swampert. I'm really still scared of Umbreon, so I'm bringing Gardevoir. I switch it up and decide to go with the Gardevoir lead. Last second. Does it pay off? Not really. So this is a bad matchup. I decided to quick switch into Gloom. It's got Razor Leaf, and I end up doing over half. I'm guessing he kind of panicked. He didn't expect that, because I hadn't done Gloom all match, and Razor Leaf chunks it down so fast. But he is able to get a charge move off here. It's Dark Pulse. It does not finish me off. And I throw a Sludge Bomb. Which he doesn't block. And we end up tying in that matchup. So Gloom really did some work. It got Swampert to under half and took out Muck. So really good start for me here. I bring in Skarmory, he brings in Swampert at the same time. We both waited till there was no time on the clock, so neither of us knew what the other one was going to bring. So he switches out into Umbreon, and I switch quickly into Gardevoir to get down charm damage here. Again, I don't need to block both of these. I just need to block one of them if I want to win this specific matchup, so I don't block the first one. I know I need to save my shield for Swampert, because I have Skarmory in the back. and Skarmory does not like Hydro Cannons. He still has both shields left, so again, I'm just going to try to finish it off with fast moves, which I'm pretty sure I can do because it's down to a quarter HP. And I can survive one Hydro Pump. So he does get it off, but it's not going to do enough damage. And we are able to take him down. So really close matches there. Time to unwind. Well played. And we are able to take the tournament win with that win right there. So overall, I really like the Cliffhanger style. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of a ranking system. You have 17 points you can use, and they kind of put the best Pokemon at the top tier, worth 9 points, and then it goes down from there, 5, 1, and 0 points. So each person had to kind of choose their Pokemon based on how many points they were, so they don't exceed 17. So it kind of opened up a lot of options on what to bring. It was really interesting, actually. I liked seeing all the different picks that people brought. A lot of stuff I was not expecting. So I kind of had to adapt to what people were bringing, you know, halfway through the tournament, which is really challenging to do, and really helps with kind of learning matchups and stuff like that. So it was really fun. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down there. Comment if you did any Cliffhanger, or what your team would be for the Cliffhanger tournament. And I will see you guys next time.